Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Enhancement Talent Trivia Time here on Aftermath. What's up, everybody? My name is Nug Nargang. How are you? I'm fine. I'm your host for Enhancement Talent Trivia. We've got our contestants to tell us all a little bit about yourselves. Contestant number one, Caroline Schved. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name's Caroline, and I'm 50% dog.
Oh, fantastic. Great to know. Contestant number two, Anthony Corelli. Tell us a little bit about yourself. That's fantastic. Contestant number three, Jimmy Corderas. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am neither talented or can enhance anything.
Oh, what a story. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we've got 5 questions for our contestants. It's all about the greatest enhancement talent, some of the more lovable losers in WWE history. So let's get started here. Question 1. Santino Marella. Oh, sorry. No, he's not. He's not enhancement talent. Let's get started here. Question number 1. Let's give Barry Horowitz a pat on the back. He had a major win over Skip of the Body Donnas in 1995 at what major pay-per-view event? Was it SummerSlam, King of the Ring, Survivor Series, or the Royal Rumble? Barry Horowitz. Major win over Skip of the Body Donnas in 1995 at what major pay-per-view event? Was it SummerSlam, King of the Ring, Survivor Series, or the Royal Rumble? Lock in your answers when you have them, everybody.
Oh my God, I can't even spell properly. I wrote slumber slam.
And now we know your answer.
All right. Please reveal your answers, contestants.
Hold on.
Jimmy says King of the Ring. Anthony says SummerSlam. And Caroline says SummerSlam. The correct answer is SummerSlam. Anthony and Caroline both have a point. SummerSlam 1995. Barry Horowitz got a pay-per-view win against Skip of the Body Donnas. Question 2. The tag team of legendary losers, the Mulkey Brothers. They got their first official win over the Gladiators in 1987. Now, before that first win, how many matches had they officially lost? Was it 160, 180, 200, or 220?
I wasn't born yet.
That's fine. You can take a wild stab.
May you repeat the answers?
Absolutely. How many official losses had they lost? Matches had they lost before their first win? Was it 160, 180, 200, or 220? They were pale as ghosts, those two guys.
Okay, when in doubt, go with C.
The Mulkey Brothers.
They had a couple of matches in WWE, but they had a lot of matches in WCW. They were just two thin ghosts of men. All right. Please reveal your answers, ladies and gentlemen. I see 200, 220, 200. The answer is 180. Nobody with the points. Caroline and Anthony still tied at 1. Jimmy in second place with 0 points.
You guys don't want me to win trivia.
Question number 3. This one's for me because he's one of my favorites. Damien Demento. He lost in the main event of the debut episode of Monday Night Raw to The Undertaker. And when they announced Damien Demento, where did they say he was from? Was he from the other side of darkness, the iron gates of fire, the outer reaches of your mind, or parts unknown? Those answers, once again, the other side of darkness, the iron gates of fire, the outer reaches of your mind, or parts unknown. Or as Jimmy would say, Partsukanon.
Partsukanon, yes. They're neighboring cities.
He had huge shoulder pads with teeth on them. And he had a crazy beard and no hair but a ponytail. He was a whole thing. He was a whole thing.
Damien Demento.
Damien Demento.
Yes.
Damien Demento. That's how he always said it. Let's reveal your answers, please. Outer reaches of your mind. Outer reaches of your mind. Parts unknown. The answer is the outer reaches of your mind. Anthony takes the lead with 2. Jimmy gets a point and is tied with Caroline, 1 point for second place. Now here we go. This one's for the not young people that are playing today. Columbus, Ohio's Frankie Williams had a memorable moment on a WWE talk show. The host had invited him to the show because he had sympathy for Williams never winning a match. And Frankie's response was, "I may be a lousy wrestler, but I'm still in there and I'm not afraid of nobody." Now, On what famous show did this occur? Was it The Body Shop, The Flower Shop, The Funeral Parlor, or Piper's Pit?
Ooh. Are you making fun of me?
No,
Okay.
I'm not
What
saying you
year?
were there.
What year is this?
I didn't say a year.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Was
Mhm.
this on The Body Shop, The Flower Shop, The Funeral Parlor, or Piper's Pit? What famous WWE show? Segment? Show? Segment? Show segment.
I need to get a marker.
All right, locking in your answers.
Yes.
Let's feel your answers, please.
Yeah, I know this one. I know.
Piper's Pit is the correct answer. Everybody with a point.
Damn it.
Anthony's still in the lead. Jimmy
Damn
and
it.
Caroline coming in second. Now this one, of course, another one close to my heart. Crooked referee Danny Davis was suspended for dubious officiating and became a zebra-striped wrestler and managed by Jimmy Hart. But Danny Davis had pulled double duty for years, both refereeing and wrestling as a masked wrestler.
Yes.
Which masked wrestler was he? Was he the Executioner, Mr. X, Mr. Wrestling, or the Assassin? Of course, Jimmy knows. Jimmy's very confident in his answer.
I had a conversation with Mr. Danny Davis.
I've had a conversation with Mr. Danny Davis as well. I was at the 80s Wrestling Con and I got to meet Danny Davis and Barry Horowitz. So
Interesting character.
I actually refereed him
as this. All right.
Nefarious. Yes.
Danny Davis, double duty for years as a ref and wrestling as which masked wrestler? The Executioner, Mr. X, Mr. Wrestling, or the Assassin? Everybody reveal your answers, please. The answer is Mr. X. That is correct. Anthony Corelli has won it.
Damn.
AC.
Which means Anthony has to make the questions up. Let's get that music. Cue the music. Cue that music for Anthony. That's right. It was Enhancement Talent Trivia. Very well done, Anthony Corelli. Anthony, what are you going to do with your big win?
I'm going to sit down and start really thinking about the next questions and make them a little more difficult the next time. I must say, though, about Danny Davis, when I first moved down to OVW, I did not realize it was a different Danny Davis.
Yes, there's been a lot of stories over the years that I've read about Danny Davis at OEW, and I was like, really? Danny Davis? But it was a very different Danny Davis.
Yes, and when I got there, I'm like, and yeah, anyway. But interesting fun fact, my first wrestling coach, Mr. Don Koloff, who we named the Don Koloff Arena after, was roommates with the OVW Danny Davis back in Calgary.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And here's, if you want little trivia or inconsequential facts, Danny Davis was one of the few referees back in the day when we wore the blue shirts with the black bow ties to wear long sleeves to cover up the tattoos he had, because when he wrestled as Mr. X, those tattoos were visible. So they didn't want them to be visible while he refereed.
And when he wrestled as Dangerous Danny Davis, he had a white shirt with super long sleeves that covered them up too, so he could still be Mr. X if they needed.
Exactly.
Who is your favorite enhancement talent? Like when you think about your favorite wrestlers or guys, your lovable losers that never win a match, who do you think of first? Who's your favorite?
We talked about him in a different trivia. I loved SD Jones. I thought SD Jones was awesome, but how do you not go with a Barry Horowitz? He'd come out to the ring, he'd do these, pat himself on the back and that kind of stuff. There's a lot of good ones. That it's funny how some enhancement talents were almost as famous as the bigger superstars themselves.
Yeah, especially back in the early '80s when I first had access to WWF. They used enhancement talent every week. So when there was only 12 channels on the television, and enhancement talent got seen, and they often developed a little bit of a cult following. What was Randy's uncle's name? Was it Barry O?
Barry O.
Barry O.
Another Barry, yeah. I used to get him and Barry Horowitz confused.
Used to make a big O with his arms like this.
Jose Estrada way back in the day, who was another great teacher.
Johnny Canine.
Yes.
Caroline, do you know any of these names?
I'm just thinking today, Kurt Hawkins. I liked always watching Kurt Hawkins because he had, what was his, I think I just saw, because I Googled 269.
Oh, yeah, he had the big streak.
Yeah, I love stuff like that. So
I got a
funny.
Kurt Hawkins shirt with the white marks on it for the streak, and then we were at a house show in Kitchener, and our friend Pumpkin gave me a white marker, and after Hawkins lost, my nephew put another mark on the shirt. And we put that up on Twitter, and Hawkins was like, "I tried!" Like he retweeted it, and my nephew went bananas.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Oh, you went
Banana.
Thank you.
I remember when as a kid, from time to time, if you run into an old enhancement talent, they're still like back then. They were big guys, man. Johnny Canine was humongous.
I wanted to include Iron Mike Sharp, but Anthony did include Iron Mike Sharp in his trivia the last time. He is Canada's greatest athlete from Hamilton, Ontario, and Iron Mike Sharp is maybe the greatest enhancement talent of all time, in my opinion, because he appeared on the Tuesday Night Titans talk show.
Yeah. Sometimes enhancement talent has a change of fortune. Look at Jim Powers and Paul Roma. Before they became the Young Stallions, they were enhancement talent as well.
So were the Hardy Boys.
Exactly. It's like you brought up in the trivia. Now, every once in a while, they get a big win over somebody established. Now, all of a sudden, they become, for lack of a better term, somebody.
Well, think about the Lightning Kid.
Brawler.
Yeah.
The Lightning Kid, who became the 1, 2, 3 kid, who became X-Pac. He was an enhancement that had that one big win over Razor Ramon, and then it was straight to the moon for him.
Exactly.
And it's funny. I love the way they made that win into something else just by the reactions of the wrestlers and the crowd and the commentators, and it made it sound like it was like a Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson type thing. But even the Brooklyn Brawler, after being there for years, he had that push when he had a manager. Was it Bobby?
It was Bobby Heenan.
Yeah.
He was managing the Red Rooster, and the Red Rooster turned on him, and he took the Brooklyn Brawler, and then they had a big feud between the Rooster and the Brawler.
I used to love when Bobby Heenan would make fun of the Red Rooster and saying like, "Look at this man. He has limited talent. He's nothing special, but with me," and he kind of be looking over like, "Hey, man, I'm right here."
Nug, you got to wrap it up. It's your show.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. That was Enhancement Talent Trivia. Thanks for watching this week. Cue the music if you haven't already. Fantastic. We'll put it in post. We'll see you next week here when Anthony Corelli asks the trivia questions, and we'll see you live on Fridays asking all your questions to Aftermath. Bye-bye, everybody. Let's blow 'em a kiss.